Yeah, we back in the building, y'all. Y'all already know what to do. Back in the building. We back. Smoke News TV, we back in the building. Team Smoke, we back in the building. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if y'all don't know what y'all waiting on. I don't know what y'all waiting on, to be honest. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't. Make sure you keep that notification bell on so you know when I'm dropping my videos. And we got breaking news. We got NBA YoungBoy release. Yeah, that part. Remember the kid out there in Utah? He's from Baton Rouge, though, Louisiana. Shout out to Baton Rouge over there in Louisiana. Shout out to whole Louisiana, New Orleans. But remember, he's been spending a lot of his time in Utah, all in the mountains and the snow. You know, them people up there, ain't really too much going on up there. Ain't too much violence going on. They ain't no dumbhouse. They ain't no spinning around the block. They ain't too much of that going on. I always question about why they had that boy up there for almost 2 to 3 years on an ankle monitor bracelet, whatever. You know, he couldn't really go nowhere. Then he went kind of cuckoo when he went up there. Am I lying? I sit back. You know, yeah, he went, you know, we all know what type of drugs NBA YoungBoy started taking when he was up there. He had nothing to do. He was looking at snow and trees and shit. That's it. And driving little four-wheelers. And he ain't had nothing to do up there. But see, the big question is, he started getting weird too. Remember, he started painting his nails, face all making up and all that. He was doing a lot of weird stuff. Allegedly. One thing I always say, y'all been watching me, allegedly. When you climb that ladder and you go through them doors in that little industry that he's in, and you kind of obey on, I guess, certain things that they want you to do, oh yeah, you're gonna have a lot of power, a lot of machine. You're gonna have the machine behind you. They're gonna help you out a lot. Oh, Charleston White talks about this. We're gonna get to that clip. But I got a lot to say. Big question is, can YoungBoy stay home with that machine and them people behind him that's holding him down? Because remember, this boy done caught about 4 Fed cases, man. Did fraud with the prescription drugs. He was acting like he was a doctor. Remember that? That just happened recently, not so long ago. That's the reason why he's in there and all this and that. They found weapons in his house and all. Welcome home. I don't wish no young millionaire to be locked up, so welcome home. But let's get this show started because we got a lot to talk about. Yo, 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 yo. If they know, they know. It's your boy Smoke News TV. We back in the building. Light one up. Y'all already know the vibes, man. Smash that subscribe button, man. Keep that notification bell on so you know when I'm dropping my video. Make sure you share the video. Shout out to all my members that got their membership. You could get your membership, get your member Team Smoke Gang, either one. Shout out to all my supporters that been smashing that subscribe button from day one till now. Y'all Team Smoke also, so it ain't no difference. But let's get this copyright out the way because we got to continue with this show and talk about this boy, NBA YoungBoy, to see if he can stay home. Copyright fair use disclaimer. You can find it in my description on my channel. Everything that I speak on over here is for educational and entertainment purpose. Again, copyright fair use disclaimer. You can find it in my description on my channel, on this channel. Everything that I speak on over here is for educational and entertainment purpose. The clips and videos I play also owned by the original creators. So we got the NBA. Well, this is the wrong one. Pardon me. We're going to get to that. We got NBA YoungBoy has been released from the halfway house in Phoenix, Arizona, to return home in Utah. Okay. You see what's behind them, right? I'm telling you, man, there ain't too much going on out there in Utah. The only thing you seeing is Utah Jazz games. Yeah, the NBA games, the Utah Jazz, you watching them games, and you up in the mountains looking at snow. It's a very peaceful, probably place to be at. Don't get it twisted. Very peaceful, very, very peaceful to be at, probably if you like peace and all that. But when you're a young boy like NBA, and you in your early 20s right now, I think he's what, in his mid-late 20s right now, he's still young. That shit gonna drive you crazy after a while. You're gonna end up popping pills, drinking. You're gonna end up going crazy up there. And that's exactly what happened to him. It came to a point when he did a fraud. He started acting like he was the doctor. Now, if anybody know about them type of cases, fraud cases with medications and all that, and you acting like you're the doctor, prescription, doing a lot of prescription of the pills, doing a lot of orders, like you're the doctor of that of the prescription pills and all that. He was acting like he was the goddamn doctor. No, you telling me that you don't get that much time from the prior charges that you got before? And then all the loudmouth and threats you be saying on the interviews. See, this is something I'm trying to paint in your mind right quick. Something strange about this boy, man. He gotta be kumbaya and tight. I mean, he's gotta be. Somebody's holding this kid down because the shit that he be saying in his interviews, it's the same thing Dirk saying in the music. The kid threw out threats so many times on live interviews, on his live, plenty of times. Music-wise, talk crazy also. Caught up with charges, got caught in certain situations and all that. And you telling me they're giving this nigga a whole nother opportunity? Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But is he gonna actually take advantage of this opportunity, that probably the last opportunity they're gonna give him to be out here in society and make the music? But see, it goes all the way to the music. Somebody that he's kumbayaing up there with, oh yeah, they got a real tight relationship, that part. What are we talking about? Allegedly, probably sitting on some, man, listen, man. Like I said, when you climb them ladders and you go through them doors, a lot of foolery be going on. If you allow that shit. You know, the Diddy situations, Diddy party shit like that. Nah, though, man, don't be trying to disrespect NBA YoungBoy Smoke. He ain't in them Diddy. He could be doing parties by himself in Utah. He could be in them niggas' parties up there in Utah. What we talking about? Everything don't make the news. Who is kumbaya and so tight with NBA YoungBoy in that industry that they're giving this boy so many opportunities? Because they know he's a very popular rap artist. One of the top he's in the top 3 as far as that young generation. So that shit brings money. Anything brings money, they're going to keep you out here because you making them money. If you ain't making that amount of money for them, they're not going to have your back, pay for lawyers, continue doing this. Not saying he got his own money, but come on, what we talking about here? Lawyers and the charges that he was catching was serious. And you was on house arrest and you violated that shit on another fair case, acting like you was a doctor. That's crazy to me. And they gave you another opportunity. Yeah. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. It's crazy. You even got the neighbors talking. We're going to get to the news clip. NBA YoungBoy neighbors wanted to bake him some cookies after his release from jail. He's a very sweet kid. Oh, we all know he's a very sweet kid, right? But there's something strange about that very sweet kid. He ain't innocent like y'all think he is. That part. Nigga be talking crazy on his music, man. Then it was allegedly, I don't know how true this is, Baton Rouge, New Orleans tap in. They're saying one of his homeboys, Ben 10, was shot in his hometown in Baton Rouge and conditions currently unknown. This is like about 5 days ago. So I don't know if this is really true, but I'm just throwing this in the air. When you got one of your homeboys and they still going to war down there, what type of mentality he gonna have when he come home now? Is you gonna push them young boys away and continue with your success? Continue getting that money up there in goddamn Utah? Because I feel like that's the best place for him to be at until he retire out of hip hop. Because if that nigga leave Utah and get off of papers and all that, let me tell you something, that young boy gonna bug out of hip hop. He gonna be for everybody. It seemed like we're gonna see how if he end up being mature now that he sat down for a little bit inside that spot he was in. But I don't think that shit actually matured him. I think he needed a little bit more time to sit in there. I'm being honest with y'all. But let's get to the news clip, man, because let me tell you something, NBA YoungBoy. Your career's on the line right now, champ. They ain't playing with you. And I really think they got something set up with you where they're going to set you up on this trip. Because you're getting away with a lot of shit, champ. And them shits you getting away with, those shits is actually fair cases. Let's get to the news clip, though. Welcome home to NBA YoungBoy, man. Welcome home, champ. Hope you can stay home, too, man.
Another big story of the day. This is a 2 News exclusive. A well-known rapper is back in Utah after serving prison time on a federal gun charge.
Yeah, some people can't help but notice NBA YoungBoy in the Olympics Cove area. Brian Malahy knows that firsthand from today.
That's right, Brian Malahy. He is live there now. So what's changed in the neighborhood?
Well, imagine if a celebrity moved down the street from you, a celebrity who's a rapper with raw lyrics and someone with a criminal past. Well, here at the gate to YoungBoy's property, neighbors have spotted armed security guards dressed in black, wearing ski masks, sometimes carrying long guns. YoungBoy, whose real name is Kentrell Gaulden, here in a Utah courtroom last year, accused of prescription drug fraud in which he paid a $25,000 fine. He was also sentenced to prison for having a gun as a felon.
There was a guy by the gate, private gate, and he was like a really young guy.
On Monday, Suman Singh says Unified Police surrounded that person. UPD says it was responding to a trespassing call.
There were
Continue.
4 or 5 police car.
A lot of people in this neighborhood walk their dogs down the street.
Neighbor Judy Zone brought me beyond the gate where she insists the road is public.
I was stopped by 2 guys with bulletproof vests and security, uniforms all in black. And one of them had an AK strapped to his chest. And
the home owned by Galden is watched by guards.
So it's introduced this level of anxiety.
A hard edge in contrast to Zone's impression of meeting YoungBoy in person.
What'd you think of him?
He's actually a very nice young man.
UPD says the guards can carry and their permits for security here are in order. Live in Olympus Cove, Brian Malahi, KUTV.
You got Utah residents talking about he a nice kid. All right. Hold on. Give me a second, man. Give me a second. Because I'm about to go deep on this situation a little bit. Pause. I'm about to dive in deep in the situation. Somebody paying these people, man, to say this type of shit, yo. Allegedly. And everything I speak on is alleged. Because when we get to the next clip, when the lady told me, yeah, I would have baked them cookies and all this. He's a very nice young man and this. Man, somebody paying them neighbors to say all this shit on the news, man. I don't care what nobody say, man. Man, listen, man, there's a such thing that called, the little crisis actors and all that. They ain't got nothing to do with this, I'm saying. But we know about them. Those are people that just jump on the news clip and just say anything that they got reported that whoever they boss is to tell them to say on the goddamn news clip. They call crisis actors. And then you got some people that actually get paid to say some good things about their neighbors and stuff like that. You're not gonna sit here and tell me that some civilian ass folks like that, especially the first one, you could tell by her language, she was a whole different culture, and you know how they is. They very nosy. They look at everything. They got the blinds down. They looking at everything you do. You telling me that these people are gonna say, oh, he's a very nice kid. They ain't concerned about the security. Niggas walking around there with straps on them. And they're not used to that type of shit up there where they live at. Y'all, what we talking about? I sit back, I wait. Like she said, we used to walking our dogs and we see stuff like that. We get anxiety. Exactly. They think it's some gang shit by the hit their neighborhood. That's where it goes back to what I said 5 goddamn minutes ago. Somebody in that industry that NBA YoungBoy's kudos with, kumbaya with, they holding that boy down. Too many charges, man. This man caught charges while he was on house arrest on Utah. Any other rapper would have been violated, sat in prison, to finish their probation term, whatever term they had to do on the violation. They would have smoked them niggas anybody else. What we talking about here? For some strange reason, though, NBA YoungBoy get a lot of chances. For some strange reason, it goes back to the money. If that nigga wasn't bringing no crazy revenue to the labels that he's down with, to the person that he's kudos with, kumbaya, that allegedly probably got a little bit connections, they wouldn't care about that boy. He'll be sitting there doing the violation and the new charge that he caught when they raided his house and they found a weapon in there. He ain't licensed to carry that shit. Think about that. I sit back, I'll wait. We talking about Utah. He's a convicted felon. We're talking about Utah. And he's a black young millionaire up there. Once again, we're talking about Utah. Y'all know about Utah, right? It's a whole different culture up there. You heard. Listen, if y'all want to do y'all research on Utah, on rappers going up there to perform and all that, go do y'all little research and hear a couple of rappers performing in Utah and they explain how that shit is up there. Go hear a couple of athletes that play for the Utah Jazz and they explain how the culture is up there. Nothing like these other states like that we live in. Totally different. That shit ain't nothing compared to southern states. So a whole different culture up there, bro. And the law is different. It's a little bit of Allegedly, according to the athletes, NBA basketball players, the NBA players that goes there and play the Utah Jazz, according to them, throughout the history, allegedly, what they say there'd be a lot of little racist slurs and names and little signs they used to put up back in the days. They don't do that now. But they do that up there in Utah. That's the history up there. That's all I'm gonna explain on that note. So if you put that and compare that to the system that they got up there, that system absolutely don't play with brothers like us. Allegedly. So how the hell he's getting these chances the way he's getting? They were saying, oh, man, he might be snitching this and that. And he might be, but who? We ain't got no evidence. We can't push that narrative out right now. Some people gonna say, oh, the lawyers and this and that. Man, it's other people that got great lawyers too, and them niggas still have to sit in there. That part, what are we talking about? And then this nigga over here doing fraud on medication, nigga acting like he's a goddamn doctor. Anybody else, they would have smoked him for that. Oh, they just gave him a $25,000 fine, nigga, and released him. What another charge on top of that? With the gun possession he had inside his house when they came to get him. On house arrest, on his bracelet. What y'all gonna say in the comment? Oh, nah, that might be somebody else. I mean, that might be somebody else whipping his license. We didn't see that. We didn't get that information. Let's get to his neighbor, though. Now, when y'all see this clip right here, this is the same lady that just said, he's a very nice young man. It's about a minute and some change. She's talking, oh, I would have baked this. I would have baked cookies. Man, somebody paid these people to say this type of shit, allegedly. Peep this out.
And then, this is just a public access road. The people who live here have to hire, I know the guy who snowplows this road because the city doesn't plow it. Okay, so that's part of it. And then, it's like 5 or 6 houses on this street. So basically, a lot of people in this neighborhood walk their dogs down the street because it's just flat and convenient. And if you walk in the cove, it's up and down, up and down. So most people like to just, have a little stroll with their dog in the morning or the evening. And no one has ever said anything. And so
you were surprised by this on Saturday.
Well, I was, because I didn't know he was back. I didn't know that Kentrell is back. So I think I'm going to bake him some cookies and bring over because we had such a nice chat after his dog.
You thought he was a nice guy.
He's a very sweet kid. I mean, he's really young. This is a very young person. Very, very young person. Very kind. He called me ma'am. I told him I've never listened to his music. He said, I don't recommend it. That's
he
what
said that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he said, ma'am, I don't recommend it. He has a southern accent.
Why?
I sit back, I'll wait. I sit back. Some people ain't gonna get it. Some people gonna get it. Some people ain't gonna understand what I'm saying on this. Some people not gonna understand what I'm saying on this. I sit back, I'll wait though. Somebody got paid to be saying stuff like this, man. I don't care what nobody say, bro. Let me tell you something. Those are elderly people. Caucasian, living up there, got money. They love they peaceful. They love the peace. They love all that. They don't like that drama. They don't, come on. What we talking about here, man? Somebody paid that woman to say that shit. That's why it goes back to what I said 10 goddamn minutes ago. When you climb them ladders, and you make so much money for them people that you go through them doors, allegedly, that we always hear about in the industry, they're going to help you out a lot. They're going to help you out a lot to a point that when they get tired, nigga, and that money start drying up, you ain't bringing that same revenue no more, that's when they're going to smoke your ass after that. Oh, we don't care about him no more. Forget about it. A lot of little foolery be going on. Y'all hear about the Diddy case. Y'all hear about all that little crazy shit be going on. That goes on everywhere in them type of industries, allegedly. What we talking about here, man? Y'all telling me YoungBoy ain't involved in that? Nah, man, Smoke ain't involved in that. He a thug. YoungBoy, oh, really? Y'all think so, huh? When you start painting your nails and doing all this weird shit, painting your face and all white, and YoungBoy did a lot of weird shit that people was questioning. This is how the Young Thug situation, when Young Thug start throwing the dresses on him. You're like, yo, what the hell's going on with Young Thug? What he doing? Sitting on them niggas' laps. Yeah, he was sitting on them niggas' laps. When you climb them ladders and go through the doors, allegedly, yeah, that's what happens, allegedly. From the rumors and the narrative and all the allegations that we hear about throughout the hip-hop industry in the world for the last 20 years, right? We've been hearing about this shit for years. What make you think YoungBoy ain't one of them? Why you think he get away with so many cases so far? Because he's one of the top young artists in the goddamn rap industry. They need that boy money. They need all that. They're going to continue giving him opportunities until that shit dry up, until his music ain't going off no more and people ain't hearing it. The young people are tired of it. That's when they get tired of you. Now, when the new face come and the young people love that new face and they get tired of the old face, nigga, they get tired of you, nigga. Now they pushing you off the shelf. Now you got a drug addiction. You probably gonna end up in jail, all types of crazy shit. That's what happens when you don't stay focused in that game that they playing, man. It's all a mental thing. It's a mental thing. It's a choice, and it's a choice. Some choices you got to make, left, right, all that. You know, the doors that they be talking about, like Noriega and Fat Joe and them niggas. There plenty of more we're speaking about years ago. That shit continues on. That shit doesn't change. Allegedly. But let's get to a clip with Charleston White speaking about what I'm saying, actually. Maybe y'all will understand a little bit more. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video. If you want to donate to the channel, Cash App is in the banner. You can also donate by the thank you button. Let's get to Charleston White, man. Smash that like.
And then, you know, this is
Dirk got the machine behind him. Cantrell got the machine behind him. They finna play with our babies. He done already submitted. When he came out with that white face and that makeup on, that fingernail polish and that lipstick, he had already submitted and let them folk get inside of him. He ain't ours no more. He theirs. How you think he beat the feds? Dirk got the machine.
Let's go back one more time.
Dirk got the machine behind him. Cantrell got the machine behind him. They finna play with our babies. He done already submitted. When he came out with that white face and that makeup on, that fingernail polish and that lipstick, he had already submitted and let them folk get inside of him. He ain't ours no more. He theirs. How you think he beat the feds? Dirk got the machine.
Y'all get what Charleston White when he said when he let them folks get inside of him? I sit back, I'll wait. Do y'all understand what Charleston White said? He let them folks get inside him. The man went cuckoo up there, man. He was on house arrest for 2 to 3 years up there in the mountains, man. It snowed. He couldn't do nothing but make music. That means you making money for yourself and you making money for the people that you work for. That part. What are we talking about here? They're going to keep you trapped in there, man. That money, when NBA YoungBoy first got on house arrest, y'all remember when he first got on the house arrest and when we all first heard he was in Utah and all this, he was going crazy at the time of the music. The streaming was going crazy. The kids loved him. His age range and all that. There was a new era. It was a new YoungBoy. It was a new dude in town now. They loved his music. They liked the way he was talking. He was going against Dirk. He was doing this and that. They loved that. They're going to continue pushing that, obviously. They're not going to send you to jail for 5 years and all of a sudden the revenue go down. And I mean, you the hottest artist that they got in the whole world, the whole country. All the young kids are loving him. No. They're going to call their little plugs up, call the judge, allegedly, and they're going to come on to a little agreement. You might have to go in and sit down for a few months, but when you come on, you're going to come on with house arrest. It's better than doing several years. When he came on, got on the bracelet, boop, shipped him to Utah, and he's been there ever since. Let's continue with Charleston White. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel.
White folks don't take no nigga and put him in Utah, put a leg monitor around his leg so he can't f up and do nothing. No. Them white folk shielded this boy. Made sure he didn't make no dumb decision, no nothing. White.
Exactly. Now, do y'all get what I'm saying here? I had to find that little clip with Charleston White because he's throwing it at y'all, Paul. He's throwing this a bit. He's trying to let y'all know too. They're not gonna shield that young boy for no reason. If you ain't worth nothing, you gotta be worth something for them to do that. You gotta be worth something for them to make them calls and make them and get them plugs and all that, the connections that they got to give you plenty of other chances because you're the hottest thing going. Then you're doing all the weird stuff and all that with the face painting and all this and that. Come on, man, that comes from that. That don't just come, you just wake up in the morning, oh, yo, let me go do this. Let me paint my face. Let me go paint my nails. Let me go do that. Shit don't come like that. You don't just wake up and do that, champ. I'm sorry, but you just don't wake up and do that, especially as a millionaire, as an artist. No, that comes from the back end, that part. What are we talking about? I said back, I'll wait. That comes from the back end of the people. They shield them, send them to Utah, the most perfect spot that a little young nigga can't be nowhere else. You can't put him in Miami, he gonna bug out. They tried to put him in Houston, that shit didn't work out. He ended up clashing with Jay Prince and them niggas down in Houston. Y'all forgot about that? Remember, he was in Houston once upon a time also. He thought he could leave New Orleans, go to Houston. Nah, that shit didn't even work out either. Because his ego, who he is, he can't be around people like that. He can't be around other gangster rappers and all that, especially the type of ego that he got. So what they do, ship his ass all the way to up top there, by Canada down there, nigga, on the Midwest. That's Utah, where ain't no action going on. Murder rate ain't going on. No spinning the block, none of that. No other goons you could go against. ain't nothing like, listen, if they do got something like that going on, shout out to Utah, nigga, it's very quiet and it's very low percentage of it. It's a perfect spot to send them, shield them, keep them in house arrest, nothing gonna happen. You in a nice ass mansion, nice beautiful view out there. The view is crazy probably. That's all you got going on. Then you turn to little drugs, nigga, because that's all you going crazy up there. They got you up there for years. Come on, man. Nasty work, man.
I talked to the young boys. I'm like, yo, so what's up with them? He's like, oh, no, homie, those are ops, right? I'm like, so what happened? He's like, nah. What it means is he don't even, I don't know.
He don't know why they beefing.
No, he don't even know, but he know those is not cool. That's his information that he received. That's the way he feel about it. And it's real to him because they gonna act off it. When you see like NBA YoungBoy and Lil Durk, and they got extreme going on. But when it happens, NBA YoungBoy will be away. So Durk has an extreme advantage because he's actually out and meeting people. You still gotta be conscious of street because street, you can just be oblivious to it in the streets. I'll catch up with you and eat you like breakfast, man. Like, it is what it is. Nah, that's like when you reach out to Drake, and he go, nah, I fuck Durk. You know, everybody young boy wanted to do something to that nigga. You said what? He said, I wish that nigga was.
When Durk, he had more access to people. That's why he jammed in the way he jammed. Now, I'm gonna ask y'all a question. They would have put Durk in NBA YoungBoy shoes. Say they would have locked them, shielded them, put him somewhere that he can make sure he don't do no stupid shit, the shit that he's allegedly involved in with his crew that allegedly been doing, the OTF members, the murder for hire and all this that Durk's getting accused for, that's getting, indicted for. They would have put him up there on some Utah shit too. He probably would have been sliding through a lot of cases, or he wouldn't have got jammed up on the situations that I'm trying to say here. NBA YoungBoy got a crew too. He got some little niggas that's buck wild. Them niggas are spinning block and all that, but them niggas ain't up there in Utah with him. So you can't indict on that. You can't indict that nigga on no crazy shit. But what they could do, get him on little petty shit. The fraud, medication. You violating your parole. You violating your whatever probation that you on with the braces, the ankle monitor. Now you taking your pills, you going crazy. They know all this shit. They know he up there going crazy with the medication pills, with the perks and whatever he's taking allegedly. They know that shit, man, because there's nothing to do up there. But see, that kind of saved them from doing the stupid shit that little Durk caught up in, that's Yellow Beezy caught up in, the little rat wars, the murder for hires and this and that. Now, we're not going to say they might not come back because NBA YoungBoys are actually involved in a lot of shit, allegedly. With the King Von situation, Quando Rondo was under him, he's under his label, But that shit saved him. of that Utah shit. That Utah shit saved him. That's why he's able to come home now with the plugs, with the people he deal with, the people in the back end, climbing up that ladder, going through that goddamn door, nigga sitting on their lap, allegedly, nigga, the shit that we hear, yeah, that part. That's why he's able to come home. Nah, man, but why Dirk ain't do it? We don't know that question either. Maybe Dirk didn't want to be all isolated somewhere like a Utah section in Wisconsin. Maybe he didn't want to do that. Maybe Dirk thought he was good in Atlanta, which is a bad mistake. You put NBA YoungBoy in Atlanta, man, that nigga be having a RICO charge right now. Murder and everything. Murder for hire, all types of shit. Think about that. That young boy was wild. He was bugged out. And you put him in Atlanta? Nah, that shit wouldn't work. Dirk was more relaxed, but see, Dirk thought he was getting away with shit, even though he had the machine behind him also, like the NBA YoungBoy have right now as I speak. But when your time is up and you're doing a little bit too much and your crew is getting too sloppy in the back end, that machine gonna hold you down but so long. They gotta push their way, they gotta push themselves away now. Come on, man. It's the machines in the back end that's holding these boys down, man. When you climb them ladders and go through them doors and you make a certain amount of money, them machines gonna help you out until you get too sloppy to a point that they getting tired of your shit. That's when they gotta fall back, man. Now this on your own, champ. NBA YoungBoy, man, let me tell you something, man. He definitely climbed that ladder and went through them doors, allegedly. I'm just saying. Too many chances he had. The boy too wild. He slipped up too many times in his interview, threatening other rappers, and then they end up passing away like a king bomb. Threatening little Dirk, saying he gonna do this, do that, saying in the song. It's the same shit. It's no different what Dirk doing, what Dirk said in his rap, no different than NBA YoungBoy said also. Because actually it was action going behind them raps in the streets down there in Louisiana, allegedly with his crew down there. People gotta do their research. Why is this nigga still home like this, though? Charleston White just told you. Let's go back before I get out of here.
Dirk got the machine behind him. Cantrell got the machine behind him. They finna play with our babies. He done already submitted. When he came out with that white face and that makeup on, that fingernail polish and that lipstick, he had already submitted and let them folk get inside of him. He ain't ours no more. He theirs. How you think he beat the feds? Dirk got the machine.
He beat the feds, not going to jail, but they kept him in Utah on the bracelet. That's because some plugs and connections. I'm out of here, man. Welcome home, NBA YoungBoy. Hope your ass can stay. I hope you pause. I hope you can stay home. I hope you don't get jammed up in those situations like Yellow Beezy and all these other niggas is getting caught up in murder for hire because of rap beef. Because of the hip-hop beef y'all got going on. We're gonna see. To be continued with NBA YoungBoy. We're gonna see if he ain't gonna talk crazy towards people and everything else. We're gonna see if he's gonna fall back up in Utah. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, man. Till then, man. Happy you home, NBA YoungBoy. Welcome home, champ. Y'all already know the vibes, man. If they know, they know. It's your boy Smoke News TV. I'm out of here, man. Salute, gang.